Those of us with a keen eye and cynical nature can't seem to stop spotting weird things in Modern Warfare. Some people have even become obsessively curious as to what this guy does all match after he lets us out of the van. I've seen suggestions that he's the announcer giving callouts, or that he's simply in there playing some COD Mobile. In the last video I also found it particularly intriguing as to why the team who battles incredibly hard to capture all the flags in Ground War decides to then nuke the place and call it a victory. I'm glad to say we have more strange observations to discuss, so as we dive into them I want to say if you're new here, please do subscribe and hit the notification bell to join the notification squad like the two COD philosophers on your screen have done. Now let's begin. Begin where we left off actually, regarding the DEF CON nuke. A lot of you suggested that the DEF CON nuke is actually launched by the opposing team, the team who has lost all 5 flags as a sort of last resort scorched earth policy. Well, even if that was the case, do you not still find it weird that the team who gets nuked, which is actually both teams by the way, but you get what I mean, the team who gets nuked still calls it a victory at the end of the game? I mean, look at the size of that crater in Mushroom Cloud. How could that in any way for anyone be considered a victory? That nuke alone would set off a nuclear winter so harsh and last so long it would make a Game of Thrones winter look like a chilly few days. Thanks to the amazing gunsmith in the game, we can come up with some really cool and also really odd weapons, like this PKM for example. A regular PKM weighs about 7.5 kilograms or 16.5 pounds. Add on another 4.5 kilograms for the bipod, then a fuck ton more weight for the 200 rounds my PKM is carrying here, then whatever a monolithic suppressor weighs, and you have a pretty beefy gun. Okay, take away the weight of the stock which I've removed, which won't make carrying this chunky boy any easier by the way. It's so front heavy it should send you into a front flip when you try to hold it up straight, but our soldiers don't seem to be phased at all. Nah, they can sprint around forever with this thing, do a half marathon with it, no bother, no questions asked. But questions do have to be asked, like what sort of roids are our soldiers pumping to be able to run around holding guns like this with ease? One of the most curious things brought to my attention for this video is the soldiers in Modern Warfare do not have a reflection in a mirror, which naturally leads to speculation that all the soldiers in the game are indeed vampires. And whilst we'll have to wait on more information from Infinity Ward regarding that and what consequences confirming that they are indeed vampires would have for the game meta, it's also important to question the integrity of the mirrors. Are they fake mirrors? Are they just an image of what a reflection should be? Well, I had a quick investigation and it would appear that the mirrors are in fact legit, so where is my soldier's reflection? It's very weird indeed. Talking about things our soldiers can't see, they also can't always see when they've got a kill, like for example when they've thrown a seemingly random grenade.
Gotcha, you wee fucker.
Or maybe it wasn't random at all and the soldiers are just so absolutely sure in their throwing that they're destined to drop that grenade at an enemy's toes and get the kill. We turn our attention to another odd feature in the realm of Modern Warfare, and that is how there can possibly be a glare or a glint from a sniper scope that is in darkness. I know it's not completely dark in this cave for example, but as you can see it's well away from any direct sunlight or strong light in general, and yet the sniper scope is actually lit up brighter than the actual lights inside the cave. This scope belongs on a Christmas tree more than a gun if it's going to light up this much. Really quite the hindrance too for any sniper that's using it. Something weird that isn't exclusive to just Modern Warfare is how we operate the RPG in COD in specific relation to us aiming down the sights of it, which it simply does not make sense. The actual launcher would be poking through our chest unless our soldiers aren't only vampires but they're also shapeshifters and can manipulate their bodies in ways to accommodate for holding the RPG like this. I don't know. Think about the weight of a care package in Modern Warfare. It must be filled with all sorts, right? Well, how come when a care package lands on the chickens, it does not crush them? The only logical conclusion from this is that these chickens are sturdy chickens. There's plenty of things we've discovered that the soldiers from opposite sides can't use, such as ammo boxes. For some reason you are not permitted to steal from an enemy's ammo box. However, as weird as that is, there's much more, such as the shield turret. Funnily enough, why people would choose to use these things in the first place is a debate in of itself, but you can't use an enemy shield turret even though it seemingly has no way of stopping you using it. It's not like it's some sort of alien weapon that can only be used by a certain species or something, or that we need a special key to start it up. And actually, keeping with the theme of keys, how are we managing to start up this helicopter and control it before we're even actually in the thing? Look closely. It made me wonder if the soldiers are using one of those smart keys like some cars come with these days. You know, you can start them and get them heated up before you get in. Is that what's going on here perhaps? Lots of questions needing answered from this video, but I have one final one for you. How is the riot shield able to survive an unlimited onslaught of gunfire, even from a VTOL jet? Look at that, it's not even phased by that firepower, but yet the tiniest nudge from a Wilson is enough to kill the soldier behind the shield. Now, I know I said before these Wilsons are like obsidian blocks on wheels. They're pretty solid, but I'm pretty sure even I could survive being tapped on the thigh from one of these Wilsons. Folks, that is going to be all for this video. Please do leave a like on it. 2,000 likes is the goal as always, and let me know in the comments any weird observations about Modern Warfare you've made that I can then investigate in future videos, just like the wonderful people on your screen did for this video. And it is with your help that I can make these videos as best as I can. But also, since it's the 13th of December, I have to shout out my amazing channel members for all their support. You'll see them in the comments with their Woodland, Red Tiger, Gold Camo badges on. If you wish to become a channel member, the link to join is in the description. But massive shout out to Andrew McNair, Fossilhammer, Carrie Han, Cameron Johnson, Graham Deloy, Foot Napkin, Benny Jones, Chet Manley, Matty P, Joshua Muller, Michael Noakes, John Davidson, Lewis Hayward, James Linehan, I Like to Swim Naked, Tom Hoffman, Sally Edgar, Brandon Witchers, GB Crumpet, Caleb Schaefer, Mike Page, Anton DeLeon, Deranged Dragon, the FBI, Andrew McLeod, Aaron Luscombe, Slick Nick, Ryan McFarlane, Luke Maskell, Kigger123, Ben Newman, Silenced M4, Mouthy Irish, Velts, Ryan Davis, Childish Jedi, Sir Hot Snake, Father Mick, Mario Jin, Byther Gaming, James Campbell, Pro Ravens Fan, Latrice Royal, Young Wolf Skull, Dan's New, Theodore, Lieutenant McD, Sean McDermott, Silver Wind, Andy Neal, Tom Bennett, Callum34, TS Dominator, Absolutely Solid, Evan Guy, Aaron Morton, Zan Tonsness, Mr. Porca, Epic Nero, Scott Bond and Paul Harrison. Thank you so much once again for all your support on the channel. Have a nice day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.